We already talked about how to create the methods in a class. Sometimes you want to use the same operation, same operation name at least, to perform different to do different things, or have a different ways to achieve the similar goal. Two or more methods in a class may have a same name as long as their parameter lists are different. When it's occurred, it's called method overloading. This also applies to constructors. An example like in the rectangle class we already seen, we have a non-arc, no-arc constructor. We also have an argumented the constructor. We want to use both. We want to use either in different scenarios, right? The first call would use the non-arc constructor. Box 1 would have a default length of 1 and width of 1. And the second one will use the original constructor, and box 2 will have a length of 5 and 10. This is an example of why you would like to use the same name for two different operations. In the old days, in like a language like C, you have to write two different method name. Rectangle underscore no arc, rectangle underscore with arc. This will make your code very inflexible. Also, similarly, for the same add operation, if you have two numbers, you want to do a numerical add. But if you have two strings, the addition sign here actually signifies it's a concatenation. So you are using the same name to work on two different operations. Thus, we see two different reasons of using overloading, meaning using the same function name, method name for different operations. The first is you want to achieve the same thing but with different parameters. Another is you want to achieve different results but to maintain the same method name. This is called overloading. Overloading relies on something called method signature. A method signature consists of a method's name and the data type and the number of the parameters in the order that they appear. The return type is not a part of signature. Remember this. Students always forget this. A lot of students think by using a different return type, you can have overloading. This is wrong. A method signature only contains the name and the parameter. And the reason is simple, because if let's say I'm allowed to use the return type as a part of signature. What if I have returned an add just for this one? I have an add returning both int and a double. If I have a double variable v equals to add int, what does that mean? Am I supposed to call int method, or am I supposed to call a double method? Because int can be converted to double. So this will cause Java virtual machine to get confused and not sure which one is to use. For this reason, because Java can do casting, we have to use a method, the method name plus the parameter list, data type list. And remember, it doesn't matter your parameter name. It has to be the parameter data type. So if I have two add, int, one is called int1 and another called int2, Java will still consider them the same. The process of matching a method call with a correct method is known as binding. The compiler uses the method signature to determine which version of the overloaded method to bind the call to. Now, example is the bank account example. It has three constructors. It also has two deposit, two withdraw, and two set balance. The difference is in the double and the string. Now let's take a look at the code. So the bank account class has two different two different constructors, three different constructors, one with a double, one with a string. As we said, the signature consists of a bank account and a double. Maybe I will use the deposit as an example. You can see that public deposit, there are two different deposit. One is double, one is string. Now, first of all, remember the signature consists of name and the variable, and name and parameter. And this only consists of parameter data type. If I call it amount 1, you can see that there's still error. Duplicated deposit. It says, clearly it says a deposit double. Doesn't matter what the parameter I call it, right? Even if I put amount 1 here, this deposit double and deposit double, they are duplicated. So the parameter name doesn't matter. It's the parameter data type plus the method name. How about I create a double? It's still the same because return type doesn't matter. You have to, the only thing allowed is the name plus the data type of a parameter. And for this is called overloading. And the process of matching a method call is known as binding. Java virtual machine will find the best method at the time of execution. The compiler will use the method signature to determine which version of a loaded method to bind the call to.